So now we have this, okay? So what we're going to do next is we're going to take another little piece of gum paste, and what we are going to do is we are going to roll it, okay? And we're going to make the brim that goes on the outside. And to me, this is the fun part. I like doing this part because you can get pretty creative with it and have a good time. So you're going to roll it out into like a long sausage. And if you want to use the extruder, again, there are little attachments for that in different size holes. So it would probably be easy to do it if you put it in a heating pad and do all that. But I think for a more homemade look, if you do it by hand, it comes out looking more authentic. Because I've never seen a pie that looks absolutely freaking perfect unless it's a magazine and it's been all touched up. So you want something that looks like Grandma made it, or heck, you even made it. So we're going to measure it and see if we're good, and I think we are. Let me just thin this part out just a little bit. Okay, and at this point what I'm going to do is, I mean, normally I prefer to wait till this dries a little bit before I start all these other steps. But for the video, we're just going to keep on going. Okay, we're just going to paint the outside edge with the glue. And make sure you don't use anything that's going to make anybody sick. You know, stick to the gum glue, water, anything that's edible. This is something fun to do with the kids. But make sure their hands are clean. I mean, not just because it shows up in the fondant or the gum paste, but because it's just nasty. I've seen so many people that just let their kids do this stuff, and being clean is not an issue for them, and it just grosses me out. Because somewhere along the line, somebody probably will be eating this. And you want to make sure you keep it just, the cleaner the better, you know. And even if the kids wipe their face or do any of this stuff, it's gross when you see it. Okay, so what I did was I stuck that there. This piece is still a little bit too long. I have my manicure scissors that I love dearly, and I only use it for this purpose. And it doesn't really look like much now, but it will. Trust me. You're going to see it all come together in a minute. Okay, let's see. We're going to just push it on here like this. Okay, and when you look on the side, you want to make sure any of those edges are covered up. Okay, and just make sure it's not totally dropping down here. That's what you don't want. But as long as you have it covered and it's going pretty good, then you should be happy with it. Okay, next I have these needle nose pliers or tweezers, and again, I only use them for this stuff. I come in here and it's going to get kind of squashed up a little bit, and that's alright. You can always go back and reshape it. But I'm putting those little fork indents in here that you would see on a pie. I'm just going, oops, look, see, it sagged, and that's okay, because you can always go back and fix it. But you just go through and just push it down. And when you go to dust it and color it, these little indentations you're making now are really going to pop out, and they're really going to look good. Okay, so as soon as I get all this kind of done, we'll get to coloring it. And you can see it's all bent out of shape. No big deal. You always just go back in and plop it back up, and life goes on. Okay, and it's going to even look better. You want it to have that off feel to it. You don't want it perfect, because people are just going to think it's made out of plastic or something. Okay, so now you got that, and it looks great, okay? At least for me it does. So what I did was I went ahead and I mixed up some dusting colors. And the colors I used was sunflower, buttercup, ivory, and mushroom. And these four colors gave me this, okay, which I absolutely love for doing these pies. I think it comes out really, really nice, and it doesn't look anemic at all. It might even be a little bit on the dark side, and that's alright. You could do this dry or wet, it doesn't matter. Wet being, you know, you add your extracts or vodka to it. It will be a darker color, but I like doing this. Okay, I'm just going through and I'm painting this all on here. And normally, again, like I said before, I like to wait till this is completely dry and hardened before I attempt painting, but just for the video, we're going to go and do it all. Okay, make sure you get everything that's underneath. You don't want any of the white showing through because it's going to look terrible. Okay, you go ahead and do the crust, the pie crust here, and you could already start to see the indentations that we made a little while ago, but they're going to even be popping out more in a minute. Okay, you just keep going through till it's pretty well covered. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because we're going to be going over it with another shade. Okay, when it dries, what I'm going to do is go underneath and get the rim and probably the base too, but I'm not going to do that right now. The next thing I am going to do is take another dry, clean brush and use that mushroom. It's a light brown color. It almost looks like it has some red hues to it. I just love it. It works well for anything you're doing like this. I'm going to take it just like this, and I'm going to spot the pie. Okay, give it some hot spots or whatever you call it. Because when you take a pie out of the oven, usually it does have those darker markings on them. And if you get too thick in one spot, it doesn't matter. It's okay, because that's how pies are. They have those little characteristics to them. It makes you just want to eat it. They're yummy. Those are the parts a lot of people prefer. It looks like cinnamon, sugary, crispy parts of the pie. But anyway, you get the idea of what's going on here. Okay, so here we have our pie. Now to finish it off, what I like to do is take a piece of foil, and you can kind of measure it or eyeball it, and put a little glue or water in there, stick it on top, and just form it around the base of the pie. That'll give you your pie tin. Now if you want to keep it 100% edible, where someone could just pick it up and pop it in their mouth, there's silver dusts out there that work great. I would probably go over it with the charcoal first, a darker color, and then hit it with the silver, and it would look like a pie tin. I've done it before. I don't have it now. I think one of my nieces walked off with it, but it still works. But anyway, this is a quick little tutorial on how to make a pie. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to pop them right down there. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Take care.